Welcome to my review of the Doctor Who Christmas Special, episode 13. I'm Spike, Von Shadow. Welcome to my reviews. Warning, there will be spoilers, so if you haven't watched the episode, go watch it and come right back. Okay, you're still there? Awesome, let's get started. We find the Doctor having his door knocked on by one of the local villagers looking for the surgeon. And in this, the Doctor is brought to this person in a hood, which come to find out is Riversong. But Riversong doesn't know who he is. And throughout this whole episode, the Doctor is needed to help out with her husband, one of the many we end up finding out in this episode. So this guy's a big cybernetic robot warrior. And what they're trying to do is take this diamond, this precious diamond, out of his head. And Riversong says it throughout the whole entire episode that the only reason she married him was for the diamond. And it's very hilarious. There's a lot of banter back and forth between the two. And she doesn't know he's the Doctor, and he's utterly surprised by this. That she doesn't talk about the Doctor, she doesn't say any word of the Doctor. So they go and they meet the guy who's on this table, and all these legions of people are watching. So during this part of the episode, the Doctor's still relatively confused as to what's going on here. So then him and her go off to the side and they talk about this, and she still doesn't know who he is. So after getting ahead, ditching them, running off, they end up running around back and forth, and then they find the TARDIS. And then that's when they run into her other husband, in which she ends up making out with this guy, and long and short end of it, they go in the TARDIS. And that's when the Doctor realizes that it's his turn, that she doesn't know who he is, who he's got to introduce himself to her. He's got to figure out a way to let her know that he's the Doctor. So throughout the episode, it gets very, very hilarious, and what ends up happening is they get tracked down by the robot, the big robot body that's connected to the king. And it's hilarious how much they have to move around and go from place to place, and then they go to this epic black market style auction marketplace where Riversong goes to sell the head. Well, they go to sell the head to these people, and they're doing this ceremony, and during this time, the Doctor and her are both looking at each other, and they're trying to get out of town before the robot thing comes back. The robot thing comes back, and everybody kind of disperse, and they end up leaving. And the best moment, and one of the best moments in all of Doctor Who, in my opinion, is the speech, where the Doctor and River are cornered by these people that are trying to buy the diamond. And one of the things she says is that, loving the Doctor is like loving a star. Loving something so great that you don't expect it to love you back. And the Doctor's just standing there the whole time, almost in awe and yet laughing because of how she thinks and feels about her. She thinks that he's completely left her behind and he doesn't care about her, and that, she's just all lost on her own. But that's not the case. The Doctor is always there whenever she calls. And at the end of this big speech, he turns to her and he says, "Hello, sweetie." And then that's when she gets it. That's when she gets it that this is the newest Doctor. She hasn't seen this guy, and especially their dinner when they were at the table, and how she talks about the Doctor, and you really see that the only type of resentment that she has towards the Doctor is because she feels like he's not there for her. But in all reality, whenever she is in trouble, he is always there for her. And so they get out of there, and then they end up spending a wonderful afternoon together where the Doctor tells her that, this may be the last time I see you. Because he gave her the diary, the TARDIS-looking diary, for a certain amount of time, and she says that she's nearly at the end of her journal. And the great part about that is that, the story isn't done yet. That who knows what could happen in the future. And that's pretty much what the doctor tells her is, hey, I could see you again. It's very, very possible. And she's very heartbroken by this. Now after all this time, finding the doctor now and really having a good heart-to-heart moment and talk with him, and now he's, she may never get to see him again. And he's like, listen, it may happen again. I may come and find you. We may run into each other again. So don't lose hope. At the same time, don't count your blessings, because it may not happen. So I think that was like a subtle way of Stephen Moffat telling us that, hey, it's possible in the future for her to come back, but don't count on it. So I gave the overall episode a 10. I think it was the best of the season. The witty back and forth banter between Peter Capaldi and Alex Kingston was just phenomenal. I loved it. And it was really hilarious, and yet at the end it was very heartwarming. So it had this good array of emotions that you felt throughout the whole episode. So like I said, I give it overall 10, the best of the season. And, I can't wait. And I hope that she comes back, in the next season, hopefully. Hopefully, season 10, we'll get to see her again, hopefully, before he regenerates. And, the one of the last things before I end this video, one of the things he gives her the Sonic that we've seen every time that we've ever seen River. Every time that we, everything from when the Doctor was David Tennant to when he was Matt Smith till now. That first sonic screwdriver that you see her have, she gets it in this episode, which is really awesome. You really get to see that, and I was super excited to see that. So, as always, let me know your thoughts, questions, concerns, feelings down below. Whether you liked the video, didn't like the video, liked the episode, didn't like the episode. Thanks for watching. I'm Spike.